Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a quick video and talk about the current transit that's happening. Just actually started 2 days ago on the 21st of February, and that is when Mars left the sign of Aries and is now just moved into Taurus. So we should really expect to see some changes happening during this time. It's a big transition. Mars is naturally at home in Aries, and as it moves into Taurus, it gets a little bit frustrated. It's sitting there with Rahu, which is the north node of the moon. And when these two grahas or planets come together, we can think of Rahu as being kind of an airy and moving or Vata-based graha, and Mars would be very much a very fiery and Pitta-based planet, right? So what we might see with this is kind of like a wind stoking the flame type of scenario. So this can cause a lot of irritations and inflammations that can cause it both in our internally as well as maybe in our communities or even on the global scale. Because this is also happening in the sign of Taurus, this energy will tend to get a little bit frustrated here, so it's not really where it's naturally at its happiest. So we can expect some turbulence with this transition. It's a really good time to be careful with how you exert your energy, where you're putting your energy, and particularly to be mindful of not getting too frustrated or letting your anger kind of run loose. Because Mars is a very physically oriented planet and likes a lot of physicality, I do really recommend doing some physical exercise and things like that, or some way to sort of channel this energy, because with this Martian energy, it's going to be there regardless of what we do. So it's best if we can channel in it and then it doesn't become kind of combust. So this can be anything from running, swimming. It's probably a little colder. Most of us are this time of year. But it can also be something like weightlifting or doing some yoga exercise. But something that has a little bit of vigorousness to it is going to be very good for to help dissipate some of the Martian energy right now. So I very much recommend doing something like that. It's a good time to also use this energy mindfully, especially. So because of this fiery Pitta nature of Mars, it doesn't mean we need to go out and conquer the world or run a big marathon or win at yoga or anything like this. It just means that we want to channel it in a really productive way. So this is a really important time for using that physicality. Being that this is happening in the house of Taurus, in the sign of Taurus, this would be the house that represents the home life, comforts, family, food, security, all these kind of aspects of our life. So this might be an area of life where this energy tends to be a little bit disruptive. So be mindful around your home, be mindful around communication with your family. This wispy Rahu energy can stir things up a little bit and might cause some disruptive energy, and maybe we might say some things we didn't mean to say, or that we shouldn't have said, or maybe that needed to be said, but here they are, right? And when we combine this with the Mars energy of force and conflict and things like that, this can get us into trouble. So be careful around your home life. This will also kind of largely depend on, too, is where Taurus is in your chart. So if your moon is either in Taurus, or if you have a Taurus rising sign, this will be particularly a hard transition for you. But if you do a consultation, we can look at where Taurus is in your chart. We can look at what planets are sitting there and kind of build a bigger picture off of this transition to see how it's going to affect you specifically. So just to reiterate, be careful during this time. We can probably expect a little bit more turbulence in the larger social sphere and maybe even the political sphere and things like that. The good news is that we do have some good transitions coming up. The first thing that's going to happen is Mars will shift out of what we've been in, which is called a Kal Sarp Dosha, for quite a bit of time. And breaking the Kal Sarp Dosha will ease a lot of the tension and stress that we have had, kind of more on the larger social sphere. The main time to be mindful of is going to be right around March 27th, 28th. And that's when Mars will break the Kal Sarp Dosha, but it'll be in direct degrees at that moment. So be especially careful. It's not a good time to travel, start any big major new projects, put yourself into any positions where there might be potential for conflict or some type of big loss. So that's on March 27th, 28th. And then after that, we'll transition a little bit more into some bluer skies. So I'm sure we're all looking forward to that. We're also looking at Jupiter transitioning out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. It's been sitting in in Capricorn for quite some time. It's not the happiest place for it. It's debilitated in Capricorn. So on April 6th, Jupiter will then shift into Aquarius, where we can expect to see a lot of loosening up of constraints we've all been going through in the last year or so. It's a great place for it to be sitting. Jupiter rules expansion, growth, optimism. It's the boon giver. It's all the good things that we're brought in life. So we can expect to see a lot of this stuff easing up as Jupiter transitions. As the Kal Sarp Dosha is also broken, that causes a lot of disruptive energy, unseen karmic influences, this type of thing. So this will all start to ease up. Jupiter does unfortunately go back retrograde later in the fall, so we might see another tightening of the restrictions we've been faced with. And then it'll again move out of retrograde and back into Aquarius, so it's very happy towards the end of the year. So that's what we have to look forward to. Jupiter's timing of going into Aquarius on April the 6th is also very nice in that we have a new moon that's coming up on the 20th of April. New moons are always a great time for new beginnings, new growth. This combination of Jupiter and a new moon is a perfect time to have sort of a little bit of a global reset. So I really expect some good things to be coming in that time period after that into the summer. As always, if you want to make a consultation with me, we can look at your chart and go a little bit deeper. If you're liking my content, I would love it if you liked and subscribed to my channel, and I'll keep posting more. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.